Confederates, the sons and daughters of their victims, the millions of Union soldier family members, Jewish and Catholic citizens who were labeled sympathizers, and of course the enslaved will say, those who you memorialize today deserve the same eternal infamy as Hitler. I support the SMMA's resolution and will offer a legislative solution come January. Thank you.
Thank you. Vicki Turner.
Good morning. Indeed, I find it a privilege and an honor to address you this morning. I have the privilege and the honor of being on the DeKalb County Board of Education as the vice chair. However, I do not speak on their behalf. I have the privilege of being married to a wonderful man of God, and I think I can speak on his behalf today. I think I can speak on behalf of the children. I think I can speak on behalf of parents. I do believe I can do that. And while I acknowledge the presence of you all in this meeting, and I hope it's a meeting of action, I come with a very humble spirit, because a lot of things have happened in history that we cannot change. We cannot go back and undo slavery. We cannot go back. But what we are faced with is a tremendous opportunity to change. We can change the present day. And I want to say something to you that I think, and I've just had, I just turned 65 this year. And so I don't take that lightly, and I think that there's more behind me than there is in front of me. But I want to make the most of the time I've been given, and I say that to each of you who will be charged with making decisions. Our children are looking at us. What will our children say of us? We're living in a very difficult and challenging time right now. And our children are crying out for solutions for those of us who are in charge. And I want to implore you by all that is within me, and someone got up here and mentioned their Christian faith, and I happen to share that. But I believe that our posterity is at stake. What will men say of each one of us? What will we do with what is in our hands? We have an opportunity to undo some things, to change the trajectory of things, to make things fresh and anew. We can change some names of some streets that honor people whose lives have been paid, and we don't know who they are, but we know that they were here. We have an opportunity, and I don't want us to miss it. I am excited about change. And I want to honor the lives of many of those who look like me, who paid a tremendous price. And we don't know about them, but it's time for us to celebrate them in this park, and not in a dishonorable way. So I support Stone Mountain Action Coalition. I'm here for them because I support change. If there's anyone who knows me well, I struggle with change, Mr. Levitt, I really do. And that's a personal woman thing. But it happens whether I like it or not. And so change is imminent, it is upon us, and now the history books can write something new about Georgia. History can be recorded that we made a difference. And we went and we did what was just, what is right, and what is pleasing in the sight of God Almighty. May God bless you as you endeavor to do the right thing.
Martin O'Toole.
Good afternoon. My name is Martin O'Toole. I'm the spokesman for the Georgia Division of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I was at the September 14th meeting and listened to the proposals of the Stone Mountain Action Coalition, the SMMA. The SMMAsters made a number of proposals that regrettably time will not permit a full response. But the Sons of the Confederate Veterans are not ultimately opposed to any change in the nature of the park. It is, after all, Georgia's most visited tourist destination. That success is ample testimony to the popularity of the park as it is, with the world's largest bas-relief sculpture and a state codified memorial to the Confederacy. Now, the smacksters at that meeting denied that they desired to destroy the carving by demolition. The kinder, gentler Taliban or ISIS sought to achieve the same ends by neglect or even the use of concrete to cover the sculpture. All of the Confederate memorialization was to be eradicated. The lesson of the Taliban and the demolition of the Buddhas and the ISIS and the destruction of Jonah's tomb and other places is apparently recognized as bad public relations, and a more Fabian strategy was slyly sought. But the end goal is the same, and that is destruction. Other means of cancellation include contextualization. The French philosopher La Rochefoucauld observed that hypocrisy is the tribute that vice pays to virtue, and such was demonstrated by the demands for contextualization. For example, a proposal has been made for this park that a bell with the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King be affixed on top of the mountain. But these words were taken from Archibald Carey Jr. at the 1952 Republican National Convention, as Dr. King's thesis was also plagiarized. Will we have contextualization to deal with Dr. King's plagiarization, or his odd religious beliefs, including the denial of the resurrection of Christ from the grave in a physical context? Will we have contextualization about his abuse of women on the last morning of his life? I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think contextualization is appropriate on Dr. King or on the Confederacy. The proper use of monuments is to achieve an appeal to what is available in each and every one of us. For we're all sinners, we all fall short of the glory of God. None of us is perfect. Memorials and monuments are designed to appeal to the best in us, the virtues in us. The Confederacy used to be considered part of the common legacy of the nation. And Union veterans and Confederate veterans shook hands over the bloody chasm that separated them during the War for Southern Independence. Those who now did not face the great battlefield are unwilling to accept the verdict of those who did. We are capable of horrible things. Monuments and memorials should not commemorate horrible things. They should commemorate the best of us. And that has been the rule in the West since the time of classical Greece, with Pericles' oration to the Athenian dead. If I went to the King Center, I would not expect to see Dr. King's dirty laundry aired. If I come to a Confederate memorial or monument, I do not expect to see the dirty laundry of the Confederacy washed in the public. Those who demand that are hypocrites unless they're willing to have the same apply to all monuments, memorials. Unless we're going to have contextualization for one, we should have contextualization for all. Now, the role of the monument is to uplift and bring us to a better state. The Stone Mountain Memorial Park has done this and has been a success. Millions visit it every year. You're proud to say that you're the most common visited spot in the state of Georgia. And I say to you, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
Richard Rose. Richard Rose. Lorna Allen. Ryan Gravel.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Gravel, also a son of Confederate veterans, although of a different mind. I am a son of the South, and my bloodlines are at least 4 men who fought for the Confederate States of America. 2 of them, a father and son named J.J. and Biddy Goldman, fought for the Mississippi's 21st Infantry at Antietam, Fredericksburg, Gettysburg, and Chickamauga. My 4th great-grandfather was captured and died at a military hospital in Knoxville. And his son, my 3rd great-grandfather, went on to fight with his brother at the Wilderness and Spotsylvania courthouse. I don't know why my 4 ancestors fought that war, but what I do know is that the Confederate States fought that war over 19th century rights to subjugate and oppress Black Americans. Fast forward over 100 years, in 1970, 2 years before I was born, the Vice President of the United States, a white man like every other one of them, presided over the unveiling of the Confederate carving here at Stone Mountain Park. Purported to memorialize the Confederacy, It is clear and well documented that completion of the sculpture in the 1960s and 70s was an act of defiance, not an act of memory. It was not carved to remember my Confederate ancestors. It was carved to advance 20th century white resistance to equality and justice for Black Americans. Fast forward 50 more years. While white supremacists continue to drag the memory of my Confederate ancestors through the mud, America continues to move forward, if slowly, with the idea that every American is created equal. And 2 months from now, on January 20th, the Vice President of the United States will be a Black woman. The symbolism of this choice helps advance America's promise, and it's important to note that the people of Georgia also voted to advance that cause. In fact, Georgians have been removing Confederate symbols all over the state. Not to forget the history, the Confederacy will not be forgotten, but because we are now in the 21st century and can no longer stand with these defiant symbols of hate and division. These symbols, including the carving here at Stone Mountain, are in every way un-American. And in the spirit of American democracy, I appreciate the opportunity to stand here today to represent the voices, the many voices of the Stone Mountain Action Coalition. This isn't our first time here, as you know, and it won't be our last. We've shared with you our action proposal to make an anti-racism statement, remove the Confederate flags and street names, and commit to a comprehensive redesign of the entire park so that it becomes a symbol and center for peace and reconciliation. We are here to be a partner in that transformation and commit again to that